We have the MSN Money website, and I actually just here clicked on the new filings tab. And what I'd like to do is to extract the new filings here, get the data out, the name, the URL, the industry, and turn it into a REST service. The way I turn this website into a REST service is by using Kapow RoboMaker. You can think of RoboMaker as a web browser that actually remembers what you're doing. So instead of you browsing and cutting and pasting every day, you can actually instruct RoboMaker how you want to interact with a website, how you want to navigate it, and how you want to extract the data. So let's try to build a REST service. I click on the new robot button up here, and I say I'd like to make a REST service like this. Then let me go to the website and pull over the URL and paste it in here and hit next. Then you can decide to have input values, like if this was logging into your account, you would have to have a username and a password as input, but in this case I just want to extract the information. So I'll just have output values, and the output values I was thinking about here would be like the filing date. I don't know if I can spell this right. The input, so let me specify the input parameters. I would like to have like filing date, name, proposed ticker, industry, and finally the URL to the filing post. So now we defined what kind of data we're extracting out, and let's see what happens. Okay, so now we have loaded the page, and we can see the page here. What we're doing is building a script, a visual script that will actually instruct RoboMaker how to navigate and extract data on this website. So what we can see up here, we already have two steps in our script. The first one is the load page. That's actually loading the page. And the last one is actually just returning the data, but there's no data yet. So what we want to do now is to click on, for example, the first row here, then right click and say I'd like to loop over the table rows like this. And now we can see how it actually automatically made a loop over the table rows. We can go to the bottom, and we can actually now see there is an empty row at the bottom. We can also see that every second row is empty, and we can also see at the top there is 2 empty rows. So we can go back to the loop here and specify we actually like to start from number 2 from the top. We'll want to skip the last row and want to increment by 2 every time. So now we actually got the right loop, and we can see how it actually loops through the data. What we do now is we want to extract the data. So I can basically just click on this title here, and I can say extract text into my name. And if you're looking down here at the data model, we'll actually see the name has been extracted, and then we loop through the rows, we'll actually see the new names. And this is actually showing one of the most powerful thing about RoboMaker, that you're actually seeing the data in the middle of building your robot. There's no other product that can really do this. Typically what you do is you develop a script or an agent, and then you run it and see if the result is okay. Here you're actually running and examining the result in the middle of developing it, which is making this very, very productive.